Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tearing down the blueprint that lets entrepreneurs from pretty much anywhere on the planet build a US company. We're going to skip the fluff and get right into the nuts and bolts, the core mechanisms that make this whole thing work. So, how do you actually do it? How do you build a US company from, say, your laptop in another country? Well, it might seem super complex, but it's really built on a surprisingly clear blueprint. The whole idea here is to give you a direct line into the massive US market and its financial system. And get this, without ever needing a visa or even stepping foot in the country. All right, every big project starts with a solid foundation, right? Well, for this blueprint, that foundation is all about choosing the right legal structure for your business. And believe me, this one decision, it shapes everything else that comes after. You see, this whole system is built around a really cool concept, remote incorporation. Think of it as a business in a box. It's basically designed to let you sidestep all those old school barriers, geography, endless paperwork, all that bureaucracy. It's about putting the entire process online. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. Your first big decision isn't so much a legal one as it is a strategic one, and it's all based on your business model. So look, if you're running an e-commerce shop, maybe you're a consultant, and you just need US banking to get paid, the LLC is your simple, straight shot. But if your game plan is to raise money from US investors, you gotta go with the C-Corp. It's the standard, it's what they expect, no questions asked. So where is this new company of yours actually going to live? Well, the blueprint pretty much points to two specific states, Delaware and Wyoming. And trust me, that's no accident. These two states have laws that are basically optimized for remote companies, which is why they've become the go-to home for global founders. Okay, let's move on to the next piece of our blueprint. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this is probably the most critical part of the whole process. This is the thing that turns your company from just a piece of paper into a business that can actually, do business. So, if the company registration is the foundation of the house, what's the key? What's the one thing that unlocks all the doors? The bank accounts, the payment systems. What's that one document that everyone is going to ask for? That'd be the employer identification number, or as everyone calls it, the EIN. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like a social security number, but for your business. It's that unique number that the US government, all the banks, and payment processors use to know exactly who they're dealing with. And this really gets to the heart of it. That direct dependency is so crucial. The EIN isn't just some tax number you file away. No way. It is the absolute gatekeeper. Without an EIN, you can forget about getting a business bank account. You can't connect to Stripe or other payment processors. Basically, your company might exist legally, but it's dead in the water. It can't make or receive any money. And this timeline here perfectly illustrates that cause and effect relationship. Because getting that EIN is so essential, its timeline dictates the entire setup process. I mean, look, registering the company with the state, that's fast, just a couple of days. But the real bottleneck, the part that makes international founders wait 20 to 30 days, is the IRS issuing that all-important EIN. All right, so you've got your foundation laid, you've got the master key, your EIN in hand. Now you're ready for the really cool part, connecting your brand new US company to the global financial grid. This is where that blueprint really comes alive. Just look at this flow. It shows you exactly how each step unlocks the next one. It's like a domino effect, right? You form the US entity, which lets you get the EIN. The EIN lets you open the financial account, and that account lets you get paid by customers anywhere. It's just a clean, step-by-step pipeline from an idea to actual revenue. Now, what you're getting here isn't just a single US bank account. That's the key thing to understand. You're unlocking a whole suite of financial tools. You've got virtual accounts for different currencies, connections to marketplaces, but the real hidden gem here, the non-obvious but super powerful tool, is that Wire US account. That's the magic piece that lets you accept a big B2B wire transfer from a client in, say, Tokyo or London, just as easily as if they were down the street. And here is a really important detail you have to remember. This entire system is designed for business-to-business payments. You can get paid by your clients, you can get payouts from marketplaces like Amazon, that's all good. But what you can't do is just move your own personal money into the account. It's built for commerce, not for being your personal piggy bank. Okay, so let's wrap this up with some real, actionable insights. What does this all actually cost? And maybe even more important, who is this system not for? Because, knowing the limits of the blueprint is just as critical as knowing the steps. Let's talk numbers. The price tag for this whole business in a box package, and that includes the company formation, getting that critical EIN, and even a US address, is just $399. I mean, think about that. That is an incredibly low barrier to entry for one of the biggest markets in the world. Now let's talk about the exclusions, because this is crucial. If you happen to be a resident or citizen of certain countries that the US has sanctions against, you are systematically blocked from using this blueprint. And the key thing to understand here is that this isn't some policy cooked up by the service providers. This is a hard-coded restriction baked right into the US regulatory system itself. So when you step back and look at it, this isn't just a bunch of legal steps. It's a really powerful set of tools that, frankly, democratizes access to one of the world's largest economies. The blueprint is all laid out, the path is clear. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build with it?